Everyone, welcome back to another Godzilla Battle Line video, and today we're going over the logs for Gamera, Gyaos, Megalon, and Godzilla 1999. Since we did not go over them last month, I actually don't even think we found them until like halfway through the month last month, and then I didn't even see it in the Discord until like right before, or maybe actually right when the Gamera season started, so freshly added to the log chart. The link to this whole chart will be in the description, but it's a lot of new players to Battle Line. So for those of you who don't know, when you go to your expedition maps and you're like setting them for like 6 hours later, 2 hours later, whatever, there is a map of the world on the top of your screen and a little text box. And a lot of people will just ignore it because you don't know what it is, but experienced players know that these are the logs. These will determine what characters are in the map that you are opening up. And it's not going to tell you all of the characters. It's going to tell you the most valuable one in the furthest spot to the left, starting from top to bottom. So let's say I have a regular, like the deluxe map, the regular one, like the silver one, and I have a 4-star in it. It's going to show me what the 4-star is. But let's say I have a mysterious map and there's 2 4-stars in it. It's going to give me the logs for the 4-star that's closest to the left. So you're reading the log, like you're reading the chart of the characters in it, like left to right, top to bottom. So it'll be like, you know, Godzilla, Kamakura, Psychic Chorus, and you go that way. So if it's a 3-star, you're reading it like that. So it's not going to show you all the monsters. It's just going to show you the highest rarity one furthest to the left in your box. So like I said, this is all in the description down below, and it's also linked to my Discord. The tops of the logs, we have this whole key for it. I don't want to spend a ton of time going over the key, but the first 2 entries are just environment entries. They don't really matter. The 3rd, 4th, and 5th entries are what determine what kind of monster it is, and the 6th, 7th, and 8th entries are like the unique monsters. Usually entries 8 and 7 are wholly unique to a character. 6 is most of the time shared between certain characters, but there are monsters or effects or whatever that have their own entry 6, and then 5 and 4 and 3, these can be shared and combined in any which way. So, Godzilla 1999, Gamera, Megalon, and Gyaos. So, we are in luck because, can I zoom out further than this? Yeah, there we go. Because Gamera and Godzilla 1999 actually fall into the same category. So, that would be this one right here. Now, this category, I usually just call it the mammalian category, or like the ground-based monsters, because, you know, you can follow these logs and get all of these guys, but then you can keep following down and you're going to get a lot of the Godzillas. So, the logs for Gamera and 1999 will start like this. We've discovered colossal footprints stamped firmly into the ground. A thorough search will be conducted in the hopes of locating more. And I don't know if I mentioned it earlier, probably didn't. Every few hours or minutes, however long your log is, you get additional text. So not all the text will be there right away, but by the time your expedition is ready to be completed, all the logs will be available to you. Next, it reads, the footprints stretch onwards. We will use them as our guide while keeping an ever-watchful eye on our surroundings, which would then go into a thundering roar rang out from up ahead. The footprints appear to be leading us straight to the source. So we'll follow that down to, in addition to footprints, there are signs of a thick, heavy tail being dragged across the ground behind them. I gotta fix this layout, but heavy tail dragged behind them, indication that that's gonna be a Godzilla. Most of the Godzillas, I would say 90% of them share that line. I think the only ones that don't are Ultima and Shin Godzilla. So you follow these lines all the way down to the end here. The electrical plant has been destroyed. I've received as a report from another team that the power supply facility up ahead has been decimated. I think this is a reference to the 1999 movie. I don't remember. It's been a minute since I've seen it. I observed a gigantic thorn-like object in the distance, but closer inspection has revealed it to be part of a monster's body. Although terrified, I found myself unable to take my eyes off the imposing creature. That is for Godzilla 1999. If you have all of that text in your log section before you open your map, that is going to be Godzilla 1999. No other character in the game shares these 2 boxes right here. The electrical plant has been destroyed and the thorns. You see that, you're going to know it's 1999. Now, Gamera, we also go from right here, in addition to footprints with a thick, heavy tail. He is the first non-Godzilla to have that text box. So, I guess Mechagodzilla is not also a Godzilla, but I'm going to count him as Godzilla. So we'll go all the way over here to Gamera. Gamera says, we witnessed what seemed to be a large monster flying nearby. Upon approaching the area with caution, a rock-like silhouette came into view, like Dwayne the Rock. I looked up at the creature and our eyes met. As I gazed at it, it was not fear that filled my heart, but with warmth. So, Gamera's got Riz, and he's risen up the research team, and that's your log. If you get any logs about a rock-like monster and then getting your heart filled up with warmth, that's Gamera. All right? Awesome. So, those are those two buddies. Now, they share a dialogue box, and Gyaos and Megalon do as well. But their pathing is a little bit unique. So, to start with them, I don't know if that was... Oh my god, my zoom in is like freaking out. Let's get closer. So, they both start with a dark figure blocked out the sun above us for a mere moment before flying off into the distance. We resolved to hurry after that. Now, that is the box that is shared pretty unanimously by everything that flies. Everything that flies that isn't like a man-made object pretty much shares this. Except for some of the insect characters, like the Mothras don't. Except for one. We'll get to that. It says, as we continued our pursuit, we heard a booming roar from the direction the figure had flown. Now, instead of following the dark path here, we're going to follow this dotted line all the way across. All the way across. And this brings us to the insect section. You see them? Cool. Follow the dotted line. Along with the noise, I can sense the presence of something gigantic. Now, this originally was for Mothra Leo. Originally, he was the only one that had this until last month, where now Megalon and Gyaos have joined the fray. So we'll read Gyaos first. Or Megalon first, I wanted to read. Megalon says, we have heard what sounds like rocks being crushed in the distance as a cloud of dust rises in the air. A hereto unforeseen species of insect-like monster spreads its wings and took flight at the sight of us. We chased after it, but I'm not certain that we'll be able to catch up to it. If you see that in your logs, that's for Megalon. I know we just talked about how Gamera has also mentions rock-like, but that's a rock-like silhouette. Megalon mentions the sound of rocks being crushed. Don't get it twisted and don't get upset when you don't get Gamera when you have the Megalon logs. I've seen that before. People get upset because they think they have the logs and they read it wrong. Now, Gyaos says a great number of shadows passed overhead. I fear we may be ambushed at any point, so we will proceed with caution. I caught sight of a single large monster and immediately sought cover. Its barbarous appearance sent a shiver down my spine. That is for Gyaos. Now, they share logs with Mothra Leo, so say you get a legendary map and you're going, you get to this with we proceed with caution for the investigation, the trees or whatever hampering our progress. That could be either of these three guys. So don't immediately like, oh, I got Gyaos when you see that and then crack the map open for like 24 gems or whatever it is, and then you get Leo and you're upset. Wait, because there are not a lot of characters on this chart that share these gray text boxes. I think some of the only ones are... Gosh, I don't even know where we would start for sharing the gray text box. For some reason, Final Wars Godzilla and GD9 share the exact same logs. I don't even think anyone else really does for the most part. Maybe there's one other that I can't remember. Oh, it's the actually, I don't even think the Evangelion units are shared also. That being said, that's how you find. That's how. What the fuck is going on with that screen? It's giving me a stroke. But that's how you find what character out of Godzilla 1999, Gamera, Gyaos, and Megalon is in your boxes. This whole chart is in my Discord. It'll be linked in the description of this video. I hope you enjoyed me reading the logs, and I hope you learned something from this, because I know there's a lot of new players who've joined the game this month and didn't know about this little strategy. So before you blindly start opening boxes and using gems to open boxes, if you're going for something specific like a legendary map, it is more expensive to use gems on the legendary maps. Maybe wait and use your fast tracking, like watch ads, to speed up the time, to make sure that you're getting the logs that you want to get before you commit to just cracking open with gems some of these legendary or mysterious maps, because those are expensive to open and you don't want to get ahead of yourself. So, that being said, that's all I got for you guys. So thank you all so much for watching, and I will catch you on the next one. Bye-bye.